We had stopped yesterday at 25. Let's continue from there on. चक्रराजरथारूढ सर्वायुध परिष्कृता गेयचक्ररथारूढ मन्त्रिणी परिसेविता 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 किरिचक्ररथारूढ दण्डनाथा पुरस्कृता ज्वालामालिनिका क्षिप्तवह्निप्राकारमध्यगा 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 भण्डसैन्यवधोद्युक्तशक्तिविक्रमहर्षिता नित्या पराक्रमाटोपनिरीक्षणसमुत्सुका भण्डसैन्यवधोद्युक्तशक्तिविक्रमहर्षिता नित्या पराक्रमाटोपनिरीक्षणसमुत्सुका भण्डसैन्यवधो द्युक्तशक्तिविक्रमहर्षिता नित्या पराक्रमाटोपनिरीक्षणसमुत्सुका भण्डसैन्यवधो द्युक्तशक्तिविक्रमहर्षिता नित्या पराक्रमाटोपनिरीक्षणसमुत्सुका. Some people make the samutsukha, the mahapranakha. It is not sukha. The word is utsuka. Utsuka meaning one who is enthusiastic. So it is not kha, it is ka. Samutsuka. भण्डसैन्यवधोद्युक्तशक्तिविक्रमहर्षिता नित्या पराक्रमाटोपनिरीक्षणसमुत्सुका भण्डपुत्रवधोद्युक्तबाला विक्रमनन्दिता मन्त्रिण्यम्बा विरचितविषङ्गवधतोषिता भण्डपुत्रवधोद्युक्तबाला विक्रमनन्दिता मन्त्रिण्यम्बा विरचितविषङ्गवधतोषिता भण्डपुत्रवधोद्युक्तबाला विक्रमनन्दिता मन्त्रिण्यम्बा विरचितविषङ्गवधतोषिता विशुक्रप्राणहरणवाराही वीर्यनन्दिता कामेश्वरमुखालोककल्पितश्रीगणेश्वर excuse me विशुक्रप्राणहरणवाराही वीर्यनन्दिता कामेश्वरमुखालोककल्पितश्री गणेश्वर विशुक्रप्राणहरणवाराही वीर्यनन्दिता कामेश्वरमुखालोककल्पितश्रीगणेश्वर विशुक्रप्राणहरणवाराही वीर्यनन्दिता कामेश्वरमुखालोककल्पितश्रीगणेश्वर महागणेश निर्भिन्न विघ्नयन्त्रप्रहर्षिता भण्डासुरेन्द्र निर्मुक्तशस्त्रप्रत्यस्त्रवर्षिणी महागणेश निर्भिन्न विघ्नयन्त्रप्रहर्षिता भण्डासुरेन्द्र निर्मुक्त शस्त्र प्रत्यस्त्रवर्षिणी महागणेश निर्भिन्न विघ्नयन्त्रप्रहर्षिता भण्डासुरेन्द्र निर्मुक्त शस्त्रप्रत्यस्त्रवर्षिणी महागणेश निर्भिन्न विघ्नयन्त्रप्रहर्षिता भण्डासुरेन्द्र निर्मुक्त शस्त्रप्रत्यस्त्रवर्षिणी कराङ्गुलि नखोत्पन्न नारायण दशाकृतिः महापाशुपतास्त्राग्नि निर्दग्धासुर सैनिका कराङ्गुलि नखोत्पन्न नारायण दशाकृतिः महापाशुपतास्त्राग्नि निर्दग्धासुरसैनिका कराङ्गुलि नखोत्पन्न नारायण दशाकृतिः महापाशुपतास्त्राग्नि निर्दग्धासुरसैनिका कराङ्गुलि नखोत्पन्न नारायण दशाकृतिः महापाशुपतास्त्राग्नि निर्दग्धासुरसैनिका कामेश्वरास्त्र निर्दग्ध सभण्डा सुरशून्यका ब्रह्मोपेन्द्र महेन्द्रादिदेव संस्तुत वैभवा कामेश्वरास्त्र निर्दग्ध सभण्डासुर शून्यका ब्रह्मोपेन्द्र महेन्द्रादि देव संस्तुत वैभवा excuse me कामेश्वरास्त्र निर्दग्ध सभण्डासुर शून्यका ब्रह्मोपेन्द्र महेन्द्रादि देव संस्तुत वैभवा कामेश्वरास्त्र निर्दग्ध सभण्डासुर शून्यका ब्रह्मोपेन्द्र महेन्द्रादि देव संस्तुत वैभवा कामेश्वरास्त्र निर्दग्ध सभण्डासुर शून्यका ब्रह्मोपेन्द्र महेन्द्रादि देव संस्तुत वैभवा हरनेत्राग्नि संदग्ध काम संजीव नौषधिः श्रीमद्वाग्भवकूटैकस्वरूप मुख पंकजा हर नेत्राग्नि संदग्ध काम संजीव नौषधिः श्रीमद्वाग्भवकूटैकस्वरूप मुख पंकजा हर नेत्राग्नि संदग्ध काम संजीव नौषधिः श्रीमद्वाग्भवकूटैकस्वरूप वाग्भवकूटैकस्वरूप मुखपङ्कजा हरनेत्राग्निसन्दग्धकामसञ्जीवनौषधिः श्रीमद्वाग्भवकूटैकस्वरूप मुखपङ्कजा कण्ठाधः कटिपर्यन्त मध्यकूटस्वरूपिणी शक्तिकूटैकतापन्न कट्यधो भागधारिणी कण्ठाधः कटिपर्यन्त मध्यकूटस्वरूपिणी शक्तिकूटैकतापन्न कट्यधो भागधारिणी कण्ठाधः कटिपर्यन्त मध्यकूटस्वरूपिणी शक्तिकूटैकतापन्नकट्यधो भागधारिणी कण्ठाधः कटिपर्यन्तमध्यकूटस्वरूपिणी शक्तिकूटैकतापन्नकट्यधो भागधारिणी मूलमन्त्रात्मिका मूलकूटत्रयकलेबरा. In some versions it is kalevara. Either works. Both words are there in the Samskrta dictionary. मूलमन्त्रात्मिका मूलकूटत्रयकलेवरा कुलामृतैक रसिका कुलसङ्केतपालिनी मूलमन्त्रात्मिका मूलकूटत्रयकलेवरा कुलामृतैकरसिका कुलसङ्केतपालिनी मूलमन्त्रात्मिका मूलकूटत्रयकलेवरा कुलामृतैकरसिका कुलसङ्केतपालिनी मूलमन्त्रात्मिका मूलकूटत्रयकलेवरा कुलामृतैकरसिका कुलसङ्केतपालिनी कुलाङ्गना कुलान्तस्था कौलिनी कुलयोगिनी अकुला समयान्तस्था समया चारतत्परा कुलाङ्गना कुलान्तस्था कौलिनी कुलयोगिनी अकुला समयान्तस्था समयाचारतत्परा कुलाङ्गना कुलान्तस्था कौलिनी कुलयोगिनी अकुला समयान्तस्था समयाचारतत्परा कुलाङ्गना कुलान्तस्था कौलिनी कुलयोगिनी अकुला समयान्तस्था समयाचारतत्परा मूलाधारैकनिलया ब्रह्मग्रन्थिविभेदिनी मणिपुरान्तरुदिता विष्णुग्रन्थिविभेदिनी मूलाधारैकनिलया ब्रह्मग्रन्थिविभेदिनी मणिपुरान्तरुदिता विष्णुग्रन्थिविभेदिनी मूलाधारैकनिलया ब्रह्मग्रन्थिविभेदिनी मणिपुरान्तरुदिता विष्णुग्रन्थिविभेदिनी मूलाधारैकनिलया ब्रह्मग्रन्थिविभेदिनी मणिपुरान्तरुदिता विष्णुग्रन्थिविभेदिनी आज्ञाचक्रान्तरालस्था रुद्रग्रन्थिविभेदिनी सहस्राराम्बुजारूढा सुधा साराभिवर्षिणी आज्ञाचक्रान्तरालस्था रुद्रग्रन्थिविभेदिनी सहस्राराम्बुजा रूढा सुधा साराभिवर्षिणी. Some people actually say sahasra, sahastra. They add an extra tha there, which is not necessary. The word is only sahasra, Sahasra. So some people, because this letter seems like it is tra, mostly it is people who know are familiar more with the Devanagari than others. They think this is tra, and so the guru also may have taught tra, and they also recite the same. It is actually Sahasra. सहस्र 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 आज्ञाचक्रान्तरालस्था रुद्रग्रन्थिविभेदिनी सहस्राराम्बुजा रूढा सुधा साराभिवर्षिणी आज्ञाचक्रान्तरालस्था रुद्रग्रन्थिविभेदिनी सहस्राराम्बुजारूढा सुधा साराभिवर्षिणी तटिल्लता समरुचिः षट्चक्रोपरि संस्थिता महाशक्तिः कुण्डलिनी बिसतन्तुतनीयसी तटिल्लता समरुचिः षट्चक्रोपरि संस्थिता महाशक्तिः कुण्डलिनी बिसतन्तुतनीयसी. Now pay attention here, because after the visarga, these two dots are called the visargas. When after the visarga there is a sh, the visarga also takes on the same pronunciation. So it becomes samaruchishat chakropari. Samaruchishat chakropari. You can also, pause here and say Tadillata Samaruchihi Shatchakropari Samsthita. That is if you're doing it as four different quarters. But when we are reciting them in one single line, then it becomes Tatillata Samaruchishat Chakropari Samsthita. Same is the case with the Visarga in the second line too. So here Sakti, and then after the Visarga there is Ka. So it becomes a guttural ha sound. Ha. Mahasakti Kundalini. That ha must come from the pit of the throat. Mahasakti Kundalini Bisatantutani Yasi. Tatillata Samaruchishat Chakro Parisamsthita Mahasakti Kundalini Bisatantutani Tatillata Samaruchishat Chakro Parisamsthita Mahasakti Kundalini Bhisatantuttaniyasi. Let's stop it here. Does anybody have a question about the pronunciation? Any shloka is unclear, or you want me to repeat the splitting of the words?
So I think shloka 32.
32. Karanguli नखोत्पन्न नारायण दशाकृतिः महापाशुपतास्त्राग्नि निर्दग्धा सुरसैनिका Mahapashupatastra. Here there it is Mahapashupatastra. Pashupatastra we have heard. Pashupatastra Agni becomes Pashupatastragni. It is Patastragni. Mahapashupatas Tragni Nirdagdha Asura Sainika. It becomes Nirdagdha Asura Sainika.
I got it.
Okay. Anybody else has a question about the shloka pronunciation? So we'll try to do 15 verses in a day, for 15 shlokas in a day, so that we may be done within 2 or 2.5 weeks. And then if we have, by the grace of God, Lalita, then for the remaining 12 days, I plan to actually run this entire from Sri Mata, Sri Maharajni till the very last Nama, which is Sri Lalita Ambika. This entire stotram, I plan to run this every single day for 12 days at least, in the first half an hour, so that all of us uh, learn how to recite it completely. So while you are learning in these 18 days, please make sure that the splitting of the words are all marked in your books, and proper emphasis on where the Dirgha Swara is, where the Hraswa Swara, Mahaprana, Alpa Prana, Visargas, and so on is all duly noted. Okay, let's resume our meaning discussions, a meaningful discussions of meanings. Where is the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, Nabhyalaval, then Valitraya, 15. Till 15 we had completed. अरुणारुण कौसुंभ वस्त्र भास्वत कटी तटी. Kati is the waist portion. So far we have seen descriptions of the mother goddess from right from the kirita till her abdomen. We have seen her being described, uh, the smile being described, then the nose, smile, ears, which is covered by flower, the flower, uh, bunch of flowers. Then in her neck, there is the Mangalya, and then the pendants given by Shiva to mark their love for each other. And then we have seen her bosoms. Then we have seen the filament like hair, which is representative of the nadi, connecting the hridaya to the nabhi. Furthermore, we have also discussed about um how there is three threads, three layers of threads which are being tied in at her waist, which also again represent dissipative nadis for the energy to flow down from the uh, anahata into the lower three chakras. That's why the traya, valit traya, there are three. And it was poetically alluded to me to say that because the Vagdevatas are concerned about the weight of her of the nectar in her bosoms, that it may break that slender waist. So they thought of tying it and holding it together uh, with the creeper, alavala. And then continuing the discussion, Aruna Aruna Kausumba Vastra Bhaswat Kati Tati. Her Kati, the waist, is Tati. It is also again very plain and slender. Bhaswat, it is shining with the Vastra. with a vastra. Which vastra? It is a Kausumbha vastra. So you would have seen in all these depictions, they actually wear a two-piece. One is the actual sari, which goes from top to bottom, and then around the waist they tie another cloth, and that is of a Kausumbha vastra. There are two meanings to this. Kausumbha actually literally means the flower Kausumbha, which is again red in color, reddish orange. The other meaning is it is a silk cloth, Kausumbha vastra, which is Aruna Aruna, Aruna Aruna, which is orange in most orangish of the orange. Aruna Aruna Kausumbha. So it's a deeply orange, reddish orange cloth that she has tied around her waist. Ratna Kinkinikaramya Rasana Dama Bhushita. Dama is again the waist. She's tying a dama, a thread of jingling bells, kinkini, which are again also ratna. They are also gem-studded. So these gem-studded, not anklets, but these bells, small jingling bells, she has worn around, tied around her waist. Ramya Rashana. And they are making a very beautiful sound as well as a very, a very jingling sound as well as a melodious um, touch to her rhythms is being given by that particular thread. Kamesha Jnata Saubhagya Mardava Urudvayanvita. Then next is the after Dama. If you go down, what is there? There's the thigh. Uru. Urudvaya. The two thighs are Mardava. They are very soft, very supple. Saubhagya. Once again, very elegant and very beautiful. Which is known Jnata to only Kamesha. Which is known only to Kamesha, which is Shiva. So he alone truly knows the secrets, uh, the secrets, the yogic secrets, which are the yogic secret of the nadis, which are basically emanating from the middle region, the central region. Kamesha Jnata Saubhagya Mardava Urudvayanvita. And further down, Manikya Makutakara Janudvaya Virajita. Her knees are Janu. Janu are the knees. Dvaya, the two knees, are shining and are sparkling like the Manikya Makuta. Manikya is again ruby, a particular kind of a ruby. Manikya Makuta, just as a completely red ruby studded crown would be there, with kind of a helmet, with a curved surface. So is the Janu that she has. Once again, Manikya being red, this has been a trope all throughout. This idea of Aruna, Sindura, then Vidruma, Manikya, then those flowers and all that, to basically signify she is from the tip of her hair at her head till the toenails, all completely drenched in an orange hue. Manikya Makuta, and because her knees are very strong, it is compared to that of a crown, a Makuta. It's a crown, and at another place in the Saundara Lahari, Adi Shankaracharya says her Janu, her knees actually also represent the shape of the head of the elephant. So if you have seen Indian elephants, they have a hump in between. I mean, they have a cleavage between their two portions of the head. And so those two raised portion of the heads are what Lalita's Janu looks like, is what the comparison is being made. Manikya Makutakara Janu Dvaya Virajita. And then Indra Gopa Parikshipta Smaratunabha Janghika. Her Janghika is the Jangha, the thigh, not the thigh, the calf region, is so slender and so lean and streamlined, like a tuna, like an arrow quiver actually. And the quiver belongs to whom? It belongs to Smara. Smara is Cupid. Kamadeva is also called as Smara. And why is that comparison being made? Again, it is Indra Gopa Parikshipta Smara Tunabha Janghika. So here, Indra Gopa Parikshipta Smara is one, I mean, that is related to each other. Indra is, of course, Lord Indra. Indra Gopa is one of the ministers of Indra. It can also literally mean the son of Indra, but here it is to be taken as the minister of Indra, Indra Gopa, Parikshipta. So he was Niyukta, he was appointed a duty, he was delegated this task of disturbing the penance of Shiva, is it not? And therefore, he collected the banas from the five Indriyas, and then which enchant even Vasanta as who's his friend, and these Pushpa banas he had, which he put in his quiver. And that quiver is being compared to her calves, and this is further elaborated because in the Saundarya Lahari it says that her nails are so protruding and sharp as though they are the head of the arrows which are protruding from the quiver basket. You see, when there's a quiver, there is also the uh, heads of the arrows like this. Is the screen visible? I don't think so. Okay, anyway, so okay, Astu. Then some other day maybe I'll show it on the group. And just as there are five, the Pushpa Banas, there are five, and which is also why Kamadeva is referred to as the Panchabanaha, who has five arrows. And those five arrows are the five toes that Lalita has. And they are so powerful that in one of the incidents, episodes where Lalita Devi, that is Parvati, uh, you know, kind of throws a tantrum, and there's this tussle between the husband and wife, Shiva and Shakti. And on one of those days, she kicks him in the head. She kicks him in the head because um, there is another fight which happens there, which is again elaborated further in the Saundarya Lahari. And when it does so, Kamadeva, who was burned down by Shiva, nursed a grudge against him. He wanted to exact revenge. And so the poet goes on to say that at least he got to exact his revenge because he was able to kick him, at least vicariously, kick his enemy vicariously by Lalita, because her entire calf and the toes represent the banas and the quiver of Smara itself. And thus, when she kicked him in the forehead, when Lalita kicked Shiva in the forehead, her anklets and her girdle, her waist girdle, they jingled. And this is being compared to the laugh, this very smirky laugh and grin of Kamadeva, because it is said that when bells ring, the gods speak. It's a sign that gods are speaking or they are saying something. And so when these bells of the anklets and the waist girdle rang, uh, the poet says it was Kamadeva who was rejoicing, having got to exact his revenge and heaving a sigh of joy and relief. So that is a very elaborate, very nice uh, couple of verses present in the Saundarya Lahari, and inspired again verily by this particular line: Indra Gopa Parikshipta Smara Tunabha Janghika. And then Gudha Gulpa. Now, because she's sitting in the Padmasana position, her ankles are Gudha, they are hidden. Gudha Gulpa. Some people say Gulfa, which is again technically wrong because Samskrita does not have an independent Vyanjana which makes a fa sound. It is only pa. Gudha Gulpa, Kurma Prishta Jayishnu, Prapadanvita. And her after her ankles come the heels. The heels, they are so soft and so turquoise and uh, smooth that Kurma Prishta Jayishnu, they defeat even the smoothness and um, how do we say, the smoothness and the sturdiness of the kurma prishta, the back of a kurma. So the back of a kurma of a turtle or a tortoise is very smooth, though it has lines in between. Though it is segmented, the overall texture is very smooth. Similarly, because though she has all these feet lines, the entire feet, the sole of the feet is very smooth. And backing that smoothness is a very hard feet, which is what gives it this strength. So Kurma Prishta Jayishnu Prapadanvita. Now all of this is left to our imagination. We should just try to picture with each of these similes and metaphors, each quality of this organ which is being described. In fact, even in most pujas, in vratas, we would have seen after doing the dhyana and avahana, we give arghya, padya, and achamana, and then we do a small abhisheka. After which we do a Namavali Puja, is it not? And in the Namavali Puja, there is always the starting segment called as the Anga Puja, where for each organ of the deity there is a certain flower which is being offered. And once again, that is kind of the same philosophy with which these verses have been crafted. One is after doing the dhyana, we have mentally invoked the deity Avahana, and now with each of these similes and qualities, our mind is being made forcefully, at least through poetry, to latch on to that image and focus on each and every single detail. Even in the yoga practices, there is something called as a trataka, is it not? So where people, the yogis or the practitioners of yoga, to put it lightly, are made to stare at a certain the tip of a fire or of a flame, or let's say they keep an object, let's say a spoon or a tumbler or a glass, etc., and they are made to look at it continuously with their breaths in regulation, and just keep staring at it, no thoughts, just keep staring. If even if you do get thoughts, just keep staring at them consciously for hours together. Though it's not as strict and disciplined as that, the idea behind all of this verily is from the same, which is to bring the mind to focus on each of these parts. Kurma Prishta Jaishnu Prapadanvita. Nakha Didhiti Sanchanna Namajjana Tamo Guna. Her nakha, the toenails, the Didhiti, the rays of light which are emerging from her toenails because they are so white, which they're emerging, these rays are Sanchanna, they are cutting through the Tamoguna, the tamas, the darkness which is veiling the Namat Jana, which is veiling the people who are prostrating before her. People need not literally be just humans, it could be also the Devas or the Asuras, whoever are prostrating before her. Namat Jana, Tamoguna Sanchanna. So they are cutting through the darkness and bringing light into our lives. Namajjana tamo guna. Because when people prostrate, they prostrate at the feet, do they not? I mean, in today's times, though, it's gone to a very ridiculous extent where people won't even bow. They will just, bend their shoulders a little bit to touch. Where it touches, we don't know. It may touch the knee or it may touch the ankle. We never know. It may have touched something, the thighs also. We never know. It's quite very ridiculous how people have gotten so lazy that I mean, I don't really understand the point. If people don't really want to touch the feet, then better just do a namaskara mudra. It is told that the feet is the place where most neurons of the body have ended, both the fingers as well as in the toes. And uh, just as in a network of, let's say water channels, like say in a tributary, sorry, not tributary, I mean the basin, Ganga Yamuna basin, or let's say the Ganga Brahmaputra delta, that is the place where all the tributaries have flown in and they are now splitting and about to join the ocean. So the essence of the entire river can be found at that place near the delta, because all the impurities or purities, whatever elements are present, which have been carried forth from the Himalayan glaciers, will all still be there at the delta, right? So when you test the water there, it's a test of the entire essence of the river. Similarly, when the nadis, the neurons have ended at the feet, touching them is at least told or believed to be touching the very essence of the energy of this person. So that is the idea behind doing a namaskara to the feet. And so all the namaskaras are always done to the feet of the deity, so as to glean some gist of the energy of the deity. Nakhadidhiti sanchanna namajjana tamo guna. And that, of course, a yogic explanation. Of course, by love and by worship, the bhakta, male or female, would feel at the height of their bhakti, they would feel themselves to be so insignificant, though they may themselves objectively be very powerful and very highly intellectual or of great principles and character. They themselves, in their subjective view, would feel to be nothing, to be insignificant before their beloved. And so they would rather come and sit at the feet, just as Arjuna sat at the feet of Sri Krishna, uh, to signify their complete subservience and complete willful surrender to the uh, Ishta Devata. So that is the bhakti perspective of why we do namaskara to the feet. And just as people are doing it to hers, their tamoguna is being broken, their ignorance is being crushed and annihilated by the didhiti, by the rays of light emerging from her toenails. Padadvaya prabhajala parakrita saroruha. And her feet, padadvaya, prabha, the luster, the light, luminosity coming from the pada, jala, parakrita saroruha. They are so supple, so tender, and her toes represent petals of the lotus. And so they have won over the beauty of even Saroruha. Saroruha means a lotus, that which grows in the lakes. Saroruha. It has excelled, it has surpassed the beauty of the lotus too. And we have seen this many times in the pictures at least, that when she's sitting in the Padmasana, her 2 feet, because she has also applied the Alaktaka rasa, the henna rasa on her feet, which has further increased her the feet's similarity with the lotus, actually looks somewhat like a very germinating or a lotus bud. And that is where the comparison being drawn. Finally, after her feet are being described, the anklets. Shinjana Mani Manjira Mandita Shri Padambuja. Manjira is the anklets, which are Shinjana, which are jingling money with there are gems itself which are ringing, and they are touching each other, shaping each other, and making this jingling sound. Shinjana Mani Manjira Mandita, which are adorning her Shri Padambuja, her lotus feet. Her auspicious lotus feet are being adorned by the jingling anklets. Further, Marali Manda Gamana Mahalavanya Shevadhihi. And her gamana, her gait, her movement is manda. It is very slow. It's not hurried. She has no place to get to because, of course, she is kritakritya. She has she has achieved everything that needs to be achieved already. I remember a shloka from Bhagavad Gita where Sri Krishna says, Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. I have nothing to do with this world. I have nothing at all to do with this world because in myself, I'm complete and whole. All actions come out from desires. And Sri Krishna or God here, Lalita, because they are bereft of desire, they have no reason to participate in the world or act in the world, and therefore no action necessary. That idea is being conveyed here by her unhurried manda gamana. And in fact, even in psychology, people say that um, those who have a very slow gait appear more confident. I don't know how true that is. They say it's a psychological hack. But so if people want to appear more charming, more confident, they just walk but they don't walk too slow also, but they don't even act too fidgety and hurried. So they walk in a very calm lion gait is what they say, right? Mm. And here it is Marali Mandagamana. It's a royal gate, and the movement is that like of a swan. Marali is a swan, a female swan. Marali Mandagamana, where there's this thing on the what is it called? The red carpet, right? They call it the catwalk, where the feet come in the front. They don't walk parallel, they come in the front. So that is how even a swan would walk. So she walks in that way with a very slow, unhurried gait, pace. Marali Mandagamana, Maha Lavanya Shevadhihi. And all in all, this one line, this one phrase summarizes all that has been described so far in the past 14 or 15 shlokas, that she is Maha Lavanya Shevatihi. She has every little feature of beauty, which is called Lavanya. Lavanya is a unit of beauty. So when you say uh, school is 10 kilometers, right? So you say a unit there, 1 kilometer is a unit. So Saundarya is measured in terms of Lavanya. And every single feature she ticks off, and she surpasses each of these, as we have seen through various examples, by being the greatest, most exquisite, and most beautiful entity in the three worlds. Mahalavanya Shevade. Shevade is a treasure. So she is a treasure of all aesthetic qualities. Mahalavanya Shevadihi. Sarvaruna Anavadyangi. Sarvaruna. And once again, it says she is top to bottom completely Aruna. She is completely reddish hue. Anavadyangi. Avadya means something which is blemished. Anavadya is that which is blemishless. Angi is the body. So Anavadyangi, a blemishless body she has. So there nobody can really point out any particular faults, defaults, or manufacturing mistakes as it is called. So she is completely able. She is not just specially able. She is normally able too. So she has ability to do all special things too. So she is not Avadyangi. She is Anavadyangi. Sarvabharana Bhushita, and of course decked with all ornaments. Shiva, who is she? Now all of this is Shiva. She is the most auspicious, the wife of Shiva, or actually the Shiva Tattva itself, which is called Shiva. Kameshwarankastha. And where is she sitting? She is sitting on the Anka, the lap of Kameshwara. She is sitting on the lap of her husband, Kameshwara. Shiva Swadhina Vallabha. Shiva has already been talked about. Now Swadhina Vallabha means she has her Vallabha, her spouse, in Swadhina. She has complete control over her spouse. Yeah, it's quite funny, but in today's times, I mean, it has been so that the wife was always in control of the husband, but here she is a very powerful wife, and she has complete control over the husband. Swadhina Vallabha. And very rightfully so, because she is Shiva itself. She is the Tattva from which Shiva itself gains some meaning. And therefore she is Swadhina Vallabha. She gives meaning to the husband, to her husband, which is Kameshwara. And he is in her complete control. And to corroborate this idea, the very first verse says, शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुं न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि. Without you, O mother, Shiva is as good as a Shava, because he cannot even spandana. He can't even um, move his body even to a small degree of a vibration, spandana, without you being with him. So he is so dependent on you. Shiva is so dependent on you for energy, even to even move lift a little finger or whatever. So न किंचिदपि स्पंदितुमपि न शक्तः अस्ति. He cannot even have the smallest of the impulses in his own body without you. Because Shakti literally means energy. So even all movements come because of energy, because all movements expend energy. So Shiva, the greatest, the Almighty himself too relies on the Shakti to manifest, to create, to procreate, and to engage with the world. Otherwise, left to himself, of course, he is still self-sufficient. But when he has to create the world, Shakti must always be with him. Swadhina Vallabha Sumeru Madhya Shringastha Shriman Nagara Nayika. And further from here begins the description of the Shri Chakra, her relation to the Shri Chakra. She is sitting in the Sumeru Madhya Shringastha. Sumeru has three Shringas, it is believed. Sumeru is a name of a mountain. Meru is a mountain, and Sumeru similarly is the mountain in which she resides. Sumeru Madhya Shringastha. So she sits at the summit of the Sumeru mountain. Shringa means the summit, the peak. Sumeru Madhya Shringastha and Shriman Nagara Nayika. Just as a Trishula has three, it's a three pronged tool. The Sumeru mountain also has three prongs, three summits, and the middle one is the tallest, and that is where she resides. Again, it refers to the three nadis. Meru also literally means the spine. And so Sumeru Madhya Shringastha is one who sits at the pinnacle, at the summit of the middle channel. And the middle channel is called the Sushumna. And she sits at the peak of it, which is where the Sahasrara is. So she resides there. Shriman Nagara Nayika. And she is the queen, the mayor, the city mayor, Shriman Nagara Nayika. So she has her own city there at the top of the mountain called the Shriman Nagara, and she is the Nayika. She is the governor. She is the mayor of that city. Chintamani Grihantastha, and she has her own home, not built with cement or bricks or mortar. It is completely gem studded. It is with all Chintamani. So all walls, the ceiling, the floor, everything is simply the Chintamani. Griha Antastha, she sits within that Griha, in that house, and there is a chair, Asana, there is a chair of what? The legs of which are the Pancha Brahma. Now, we usually see a chair with four legs, but here she's sitting on a chair with five legs, which are held by the Pancha Brahma. Brahma here refers to the entities responsible for governing the universe. And there are five cosmic entities. What are they? First is the actual Chaturmukha Brahma, the creator. Secondly, Sri Vishnu, the preserver. And then Sri Rudra, the destroyer. Then Ishvara, the collector. So once it's destroyed, he collects it and he conceals it. Ishvara. And then it is Sadashiva, who is the Anugraha, who puts it back all together and brings it into the form of a seed. So it's called Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, Tirodhana, and Anugraha. These are the five functions performed by the five different, these are the portfolios for the five different Brahmas. And so she is sitting on a chair which is made up and held by these five people. So to signify that she uh, is an entity or she is a phenomenon which is even above these cosmic principles. Then Mahapadmatavi Samstha Kadamba Vanavasini. And this city is amid a forest, Mahapadmatavi. And this forest is very unusual because a forest usually grows on land. But she is sitting in a house which is surrounded by water, and that water has become so dense with the population of the lotuses that it is called the Mahapadmatavi. Once again, it's a symbol to represent the Sahasrara chakra, because Sahasrara is where all the nadis, all the chakras have confluenced. And that is where Padma is again a metaphor for these chakras. So she's sitting amidst all of that. Kadamba Vanavasini. Kadamba is the tree that she absolutely adores and loves. It's her pet tree. And in fact, she loves it so much that it is the only tree. I mean, it is said to be the only entity apart from Shiva who gets to hug her. So Kadamba Vana, where she is so in love with nature and plantation, she loves the Kadamba Vana. Therefore, she is always spotted playing mirthfully in the Kadamba Vana. And then Sudha Sagara Madhyastha, and beyond this Vana, at the periphery is the Sagara. There is, so just think of this as an island, and the island is surrounded by an ocean of Sudha, of Amrita, of nectar, of bliss. And in that she is sitting, Sudha Sagara Madhyastha. Who is she? She is Kamakshi, whose eyes uh, are the source of Kama. Kamakshi, Kamadayini, and she who bestows the bhaktas with any wish of theirs, Kamadayini. And there is an interesting take on why she is called Kamakshi. One, the literal meaning is that Kama, lust and greed and desire, and in fact, all the Arishad Vargas, they have their origin in Kama, because only when the desire is expressed, it becomes lust. If it is related to the gross body, it's called lust. If it's hindered, if it is stopped in its path, it turns into krodha. The same desire, which all you could say the same energy flow, if fulfilled with time, becomes lobha, because then there is a need to keep re-fulfilling it, to keep repeating that experience. So that is lobha. So kama, krodha, lobha. And then as these experiences keep repeating, it becomes a moha, an attachment, an addiction, moha. And when these desires keep getting fulfilled, it also brings a sense of ego, because then a sense of achievement, a sense of fulfillment comes, a false sense of fulfillment, which is called the mada. Just as a person who is addicted, he has a certain mada, and it is a pund word because in Samskrta, mada also means an intoxication, a high, High, a high that a person is in. So when we are very proud that all our desires are getting fulfilled, we get a false sense, a false idea that it is I who is controlling and I who am successful, and which is why because I have XYZ people, ABC knowledge, PQR skills, I can, I have achieved all of this. So that mother comes because of the same desire, creating a false locus of called the ego, I mean pride. And then if it is not the case, that is, if krodha happens, that is, if the desires don't get fulfilled for the first few times, krodha comes, it manifests as krodha. And then if it keeps happening, the person starts, losing his sanity, and gradually, envy kicks in. That same energy turns into envy, jealousy, that, oh, my desires are not getting fulfilled, but someone else's is getting. And so, uh, spite, revenge, and vengeance comes into the picture through that. So basically, the Arishad Vargas owe their origin to desire, to karma itself. She is the Akshi. Now, Akshi in Samskrita also means the axis. So she is the axis from which desire or the primal desire springs out. Or she is the axis around which all desires revolve. Every single desire in our life is, in true essence, when philosophically examined, it's a seeking of the soul for growth. It's a seeking of the soul for enlargement, for enlightenment, for an expansion, and that is the axis around which all these desires are revolving, and that is Kamakshi. That she is that axis of creation, that axis from which all desires spring, that axis of stability from which all uh, fulfillment and enlightenment happens. That she is Kamakshi, and of course. Kamadayini. All right, so let's stop here. Any questions? Anybody would like to remark or add or subtract from this discussion? Please do feel free to do so. Astu. So namaste and see you all tomorrow. Dhanyawada.
You. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Dhanyawada.